Hello everybody, and welcome to yet another Amazon FBA video by yours truly, Karina. Subscribe if you haven't already. I post daily videos to educate you guys, for you to also see what I'm doing, how I'm growing and scaling, and giving you little tips that I'm learning along the way. And also follow my Instagram because I post on there as well, and that's my favorite form of communication. I like the little DM box, very easy. So yeah, if you guys have any questions at all, just go there and talk to me. I love talking to people, so just message me. But today's video, I wanted to make it about automation. So basically putting things on autopilot. Who doesn't love autopilot? Who doesn't love passive things? That's ultimately what we strive for. That's why we're in this whole e-commerce thing, because passive income, automation, sleeping, making money, that's all what we want. So I wanted to tell you guys the importance and the necessity of automation, okay? So what I mean by automation is basically automating anything that is reasonably possible, and the goal of that is not to make yourself not do things. It is in order to focus your energy onto things that only you can do and only you can scale. For example, only you can look at a product and know for sure if it's a good product to go into. Well, I mean, and maybe other 6- and 7-figure sellers would know as well, but that's not really something you want to automate to someone when you're first starting, right? So things that you can automate, things that you can't automate. I want to kind of give you guys my intake on that and why I feel like it's super important to actually do get help. Because I know personally, when I started out and even now, there are just so many tasks that I could hand off to someone else, but you know, sometimes I'm sure you guys have experienced this. Comment down below if this is you, but this is totally me. I feel like there's no one that can do it better than me. I mean, okay, let me rephrase that. There's no one that doesn't know the business model that can do it better than me. So for example, obviously I would trust someone who's in Amazon FBA to do these things for me, because I would know that they know the business model, they know exactly, they've watched the courses, videos, so they know how to do it. But for example, a virtual assistant slash VA, abbreviation VA for those of you who don't know, I feel like even if I train them, they might not know and they might mess up, and it might lead to a series of events that would somehow harm my business. But you guys need to get that out of your head. I need to get it out of my head too, because that's not the case. So automation can seriously just free your mind of some things you honestly don't need to be thinking about that much, so you can actually focus your time and energy onto things that will scale your business up, right? So the thing with automation is, before you do it, you have to make sure that you first know how to do it yourself, right? So a lot of people think that when they're starting Amazon, you know, they have questions like, hey, can I just go on Fiverr and pay someone to do my product research, or put up a listing and have someone do my PPC for me, and have someone do photos for me, and then get reviews for me? And that sounds easy, but at that point, guys, you're just a supervisor, right? You're not an entrepreneur, you're not a CEO, you didn't actually build a company. You basically are just like a contractor slash manager slash supervisor that just got all the experts together into one spot, and then you didn't really do anything. And with that, guys, I'm sorry to tell you, but your product will not work. There's just no way that you can outsource several different people to do one, like basically put a product together for you and launch it. It's just, before you automate anything, and I mean literally anything, you have to know how to do it yourself 100% perfectly first. Not perfectly, sorry, let me take that back, but just near perfection. Basically all the knowledge that is within reason, you have to know how to do it yourself, because first off, how are you going to teach someone? And then how are you going to know if it's wrong? And if that person who knows how to do it goes away, what are you going to do next? What's your action step? You don't have any, because you don't know how to do it. So you can't outsource product research when you're first starting. You can't really outsource PPC when you're first starting. You can, but I don't recommend it. I recommend that you guys grind it out in the trenches. You have to know what you're doing from point A to point Z to be a successful entrepreneur, to be a successful business owner. And then little tasks, you can slowly start to delegate them into other people, so you can free your mind and you can focus more time on doing other things. But that is after you have mastered it. That is after you are a pro, which you will be, so don't worry. But yeah, it is hard though in the beginning, because especially when it's the business is your little baby, you don't really want to give so much power to someone else. But I highly recommend virtual assistants, especially for things when you've already scaled enough where you are getting a lot of customer emails and things like that. There's no reason why you should be answering them, okay? You can, you know, when someone complains and someone wants a return, or they have a product question, what I suggest is hiring a VA, training them over Skype, video chat and screen shares, and letting them know how the Seller Central works, right? You can give them like permission to use it. You can give them email or access to your email automation. I personally use Feedback with, so you can just give them the login and the password so they can monitor for negative reviews there. So that's probably the easiest and the first thing I would automate to a virtual assistant is the customer service aspect, because a lot of the product complaints are pretty similar. It's either someone wants a refund or another product or something broke, and you really want to prevent those negative reviews. You really want to reply to positive reviews. So you don't want to be the one that's just checking and refreshing all your products, because think about it, one product is easy, 2 products, 3 products, still manageable. But when you're scaling up to 5 to 10 to 100 products, can you imagine just every morning waking up and trying to hunt down negative reviews, trying to hunt down positive reviews, trying to make everyone happy in those like 5 to 100 products that you now have, and just messaging? That's unrealistic. That will take probably at least 3 hours a day, and that's 3 hours you could have been using to scale your business even more, or learning a more advanced skill like Facebook ads or something else that could really scale your business. So I really suggest automating the customer service aspect as soon as you feel like you are spending too many hours doing it. As soon as you have enough bulk to actually give someone hours for that. Because if it's just a couple of emails a day, like that's reasonable. But if it's taking you a big chunk of your day, I highly, or not even a huge chunk, even like an hour a day, that's 7 hours a week. That's plenty of already time to need to automate that. So that's literally the easiest, and that's the first I recommend. Later, when you get more advanced, you can start automating other things. There's companies that watch over your PPC, but of course you have to know how to do it first. They can just kind of, you know, fluctuate it a little bit, but like it's, you literally, you just have to be the entrepreneur, the expert initially. I know some people hire virtual assistants to later when they've already scaled, when they're trying to scale more, when they already have successfully launched several products, they outsource the VA to do product research for them, and then they would submit a list to you, me, whoever is doing it, and then they would look through those products and they would have certain criteria like making this revenue or has a low rating or just whatever niche they're interested in, which isn't bad, because I feel like if you do that, that could give you product ideas. If your VA gives you a huge list of like 5 to 10 products a day that are in the same range, that's okay, and you can kind of look through it. But you have to be an expert still at that level to kind of dig deeper. Maybe you look at one product, they send you in a sub niche, and you dig a little bit deeper and you find a home run product, right? So, and I mean, I'm sure sometimes they could find it, but that's after hours and hours. But you still need to be knowledgeable and know exactly what you're looking for, and have done like hundreds of hours of product research yourself to know that the information they're bringing you is actually worth you looking at it and worth you looking into it and potentially launching or digging deeper into it. Again, like there's no easy way, there's no shortcut to anything. It's all work that you have to put in. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. I made a little note. Oh yeah, another thing like hand in hand with customer service is they can check for hijackers, right? So if you have a lot of SKUs and a lot of products, sometimes you get hijackers on there. And again, you don't want to be looking and checking for hijackers. You can have a VA do that, or there's actually programs that tell you if there's a hijacker. I mean, that's another option too. So you don't have to keep refreshing every single day. But that's basically the last thing I wanted to say about automation. But I hope you guys get the point that I'm trying to tell you. But honestly, the hard work is well worth it, and it's all gonna pay off in the long run. So keep grinding it out in the trenches, and soon you'll be able to automate things and spend more time on very mind-fulfilling things, and then your mind starts to grow. You start to understand what you're doing more and how to kind of pull in new ideas. So That's my video for today, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Again, if you want to keep in contact with me or have any questions, like subscribe, comment, and Instagram. I'm always super available on there, and I'll link everything in the description box. So you guys have an amazing day. I'll see you in my next video.